Hello everyone, Maryann here, revealing light, tarot, astrology and spirituality. Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. Well, I woke up to the pictures of, and the New York Times story of the East Wing being demolished of the White House. There's been a lot of misinformation online, but basically, yes, I have confirmed Trump did say that it was necessary now to demolish the existing structure of the East Wing. I don't know what existing structure means, other than the New York Times is saying the entire East Wing is going to be demolished. Now, is that legal? Now, I'm going to give you an answer. No, it's not. President Donald Trump did not obtain a formal permit or approval from the National Capital Planning Commission, the federal body responsible for reviewing major construction and renovations on government properties in Washington, for the demolition of the White House East Wing. So no, it was not legal. I don't think he's put in plans yet. He's saying he didn't have to get approval because it was only a demolition. I mean, all sorts of batshite crazy stuff. Now, a lot of my viewers are absolutely gutted by this. I'm a history, sociology person. History is a very important part of our roots and our patterns, where we come from, very important to our identity. I can only imagine how I would feel if one of Australia's iconic buildings was gutted in this way. It is absolutely reprehensible. Has he gone too far? Does he ever go too far? Of course he does. So the question I'm going to ask today was, given he didn't get any permission from the planning authority, has he broken the law? We're just going to look at those cards, and whether or not there'll be any consequences. I do want to go to the because I can track where all of this comes from. It comes from the oligarchs who use Donald Trump and of course pay him lots of money as well. He's enriching himself tremendously while he's in office. Are the people actually more powerful than the oligarchy? Can they turn this whole thing around? We'll ask that in the US, and that's applicable for, doesn't matter wherever you are, where your government is selling you out. Sorry, let me just I keep this on for my children, so I'll just answer that text. Okay, so we'll look at that question again. I'm sort of like I don't know if I'm like a dog with a bone, but I want to know realistically what are the chances of turning this around for us. It's not just for America, it's for all those whose governments are not doing what the people want them to do. I mean, is it even possible? I didn't get to the question, does Trump really want peace between Russia and Ukraine? I think it was the Netherlands have come out and said that he's actually a Russian asset and will be treated as such, and they've stopped sharing intelligence reports with the US. Does he really want that peace? I mean, he's changing his views, his talking points on Ukraine and Russia as quickly as he's having, different breakfasts on any day of the week. It just seems to change all the time. Some of you have thought that Kushner might be Kushner acts for himself, the president's son-in-law, US president's son-in-law. But is he acting for Gulf countries because of his affinity group? The people that paid that was financed by the Gulf countries. Now, Kushner's everywhere when it comes to Gaza. And of course, Trump's taken his cut and Kushner has taken his cut. But is he acting for the Gulf countries? Of course, I think he is, but we'll see what the cards have got to say. Also, I've been asked to do some follow-up to Three Eye Atlas. If you remember, the clairvoyantly I saw they were gathering was like samples of rock in a in geology were being passed through some kind of scanner type collection device, and the properties were being examined. That's the clairvoyant image I got, and I said, I think they're collecting data. And some of you have said, well, what are they doing that for, and are they ever going to come here? Because I'm frightened. Please don't be frightened. I didn't feel like a large-scale alien invasion was on hand, but we'll do some follow-up questions to that. Also want to say that the press are actually using, in the UK, are actually using the exile word with Prince Andrew. If you remember, I said I felt he would either metaphorically or actually go into exile, and my subsequent readings have confirmed that. So things are just getting worse and worse for Prince Andrew, and he's relinquished his titles. They haven't formally been stripped from him. Will he leave the grace and favour type residence? I think it's in Windsor Castle grounds that he's been in. Will he actually leave that? I suspect that eventually he will have to, because I do see some kind of complete and utter exile for him. All right, so also if I've got time, want to follow up on Princess Catherine. I still don't feel she looks well at all. But anyway, let's start off with the East Wing. I'm using the Centennial Rider-Waite deck, the Smith-Waite Centennial Tarot, and also the Crow Tarot. Both are pocket size, because it's easier for my hands to handle, and I do have an automatic card shuffler that I give a comprehensive shuffle to the cards while I'm awaiting an operation on my hands. Okay, let's get going. The East Wing. So the question is, no approval was sought. Has he broken the law? All right, let's go right into the East Wing. The outrage, it's tragic. In Australia, we have the National Trust here, and we take our history very, 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 very seriously. And you can't touch, because I live in a very old place, a heritage place, heritage listed place, I guess, and you can't do anything. You can't move without approval from the Heritage Foundation in my state. And for those buildings classified by our National Trust, which of course the White House would be the equivalent, this is just, it's beyond outrageous. Okay, so, all right, has Trump broken the law in demolishing the East Wing, or, in the process of demolishing the East Wing? Has Trump broken the law? Has Trump broken the law? I feel he's going to do some sort of executive authority on this, because it's getting a bit risky for him. I just see him signing something. He would have had to have signed something to start the contracts, whatever. Has Trump broken the law in demolishing the East Wing? It feels like a punishment as well. Look, we get lies and deceit straight out of the bat. The Seven of Swords, lying and deceiving. And then we get, again, testing the boundaries, this Eight of Pentacles, the Apprentice card. It's just diabolical. It really is. Let's keep going. We get the Sun card at the foundation of the reading. There will be a reckoning for this. The full illumination. At some point, they're going to do a paper trail, because I keep seeing him signing something and some kind of document here that's going to be very important in the future. But by then it's too late. The East Wing's already gone. The Fool card is in the past. Unfortunately, he was always going to do this type of activity once he was elected. And let's face it, with the amount of gerrymandering, voter suppression, missing ballots, it was not a fair election. So he was always going to be diabolical. All right, now we have here Lawson walking away. I wonder if something's going to happen here. loss, walking away from loss. That's what's crowning this reading. I know a lot of people are feeling like that, but I wonder if something will happen in the future that's going to prize this wide open. We have the smug merchant, wish fulfillment. Yeah, it's him putting his stamp. We know all this, putting his stamp on the White House forever and a day. But look at what the feeling is in the present. It's death, despair. This is how people are feeling. It's just cruel. And then we get the Empress card in the environment around a season of time, abundance. We know that the ballroom's going to look a lot like Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, it's like he's putting his greedy kind of soul into the place. Here he is in the hopes and fears, the Emperor control. We fear that he's got this utter control. No one seems to be stopping him. But we also hope that the laws can rein him in. We just have partisanship, depending on who you're talking to. Some will say he absolutely has. Some other will say no, he hasn't. He's the executive. The planning authority is part of executive power. He has utter power to do this. We'll just remember that when a democratic president is in. The Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, I want to go to the economy here. And then we get victory. So has he broken the law? Yes, he has, though some will say that he hasn't. We get the prosecutor at the base of the pack. We get the king and queen and abuse of power. I feel there's going to be a prosecution here in the future. Not that that makes any difference. The damage is done. Of course, the government's shut down as well, so there's not a lot that can be done. Will he face, he and any others who have got their thumbprints on this, will they face any kind of law, justice, anything? Because it just seems such a obvious, blatant wrecking ball to take to what is known as the People's House in the US. Will he face, just a couple of cards, will there be any kind of law that can stop this? Will he answer to any kind of legal authority for what he's done to the White House? Will he answer, he or anyone else answer for what they've done to the White House? We get the voter. He answers to the voter. And then we get the economy here. So, yeah, I keep feeling the economy during the government shutdown. I was reading this morning the Federal Reserve can't intervene because the government's shut down to try and bolster the economy in any way. We just get loss. Yes, it can be answered at the ballot, but the thing has already been done. Yeah, I think that there is going to be a move with that King of Swords appearing again for some kind of prosecution here. And we get stability. The Knight of Pentacles, stability or instability of the economy too. Again, the economy keeps coming up. Isolation, the Hermit card here, and insecurity. Yeah, I want to say that what's going on, aside from the East Wing demolition in the economy, is those undercurrents are quite serious. I read that there are 500,000 more homes, for example, on the market now than they have buyers. So that's just one small indicator. The Hanged Man pausing something. I'm just getting the feeling, is there an emergency kind of court action coming here? Page of Cups, bombshells, surprises. Yeah, I think that there are people who are going to try and do they're trying to mount some kind of legal challenge here to him. Absolutely, I feel that there are going to be consequences one way or another. There it is, absolutely. Now that is such cold comfort. It's like, you're despairing and someone says, well, if someone's going to be doing something, well, that hasn't stopped the demolition. But looks like someone's coming in here to prevent any more damage, any more. It feels that way, that someone's going to get some kind of injunction. There will be justice in time, as cold comfort as that is. Okay, now, given the oligarchs put Trump where he is, I posed this question, will there be a people's revolution in the US? And the protests, while garnering over 8 million, I don't know what the latest figure is, but it's up around maybe more than that now, in the No Kings protest, the largest ever protest in America, and certainly against a president. Beyond that, in reality, when so little power is held in the Congress, but so little checks and balances on Trump, he seems to be almost just, on purpose, intentionally destroying everything he can. Okay, so, the people more powerful than the oligarchy. I keep returning to this theme because I think, beyond the leaders, it's this that we all grapple with. At a time where, the cost of living is rising, housing is unaffordable, and yet the rich keep getting richer. It doesn't matter whether you go to the US, Australia, everywhere, Europe, it's all the same. It's almost like we've reached some kind of tipping point, and the only way for them to go now is to deregulate everything to get more profits, move to AI to get rid of more jobs. Yeah. Okay, well, there come a day when there's government by the people, for the people and by the people. Or is this just a pipe dream? Okay. All right. So, can the people wrest back more power from the oligarchy? Can they, in a realistic sense? What do you want to show me? Can the people? So I see a whole lot of fire sticks that can be lit, but they're only being held in hands. They're not being lit yet. Okay, so, can there be a people-led revolution in the US? Can there be a people-led revolution in the US to wrest back control? Clean the slate, start again. Okay, a lot of anxiety here. And then we have the greed and avarice. I think everyone is aware of what I say. I don't think there's any mystery here. I think we all acknowledge it. But I do have victory here at the foundation of the reading. So in the past, we get the Six of Pentacles, giving and receiving help. And this is why you're seeing so many cutbacks. I think the US debt now is $38 trillion. And of course, Trump's added $5 trillion, or more to that number. So, and many countries around the world now are, particularly in the BRICS, in the southern part of the world, are moving away from using the dollar as the reserve currency. The Empress card, abundance, that's in the sky, a season of time, abundance or lack of it. We have the Sun card. The Sun is full illumination. Now, what am I reading right now? It's a book on how the elite manipulate democracy. And one of the key phrases in that is, because in this era of social media, what they're doing can't be hidden anymore, because the truth actually comes out. And that's what I feel, that's the stage that we're at, where we are digging and finding the truth. So we got illusion and delusion. The trouble is that, most of us are concerned with only our day-to-day comforts or issues, and some wouldn't even consider that, there is this, whole section of American society don't understand why Trump is there, who put him there, and what he's getting out of it, and what they intend to do. They're blind to it. And this has been deliberately manufactured this way. Okay, we have coming together. The only way forward, and I keep saying this, is unity. Is unity with that part. That part of the society, whether it's in Australia or it's when the majority gets to a tipping point, pardon me, where everyone can agree that something needs to be done differently. I often wonder to myself what would have happened if Bernie Sanders had have been president in 2020. I often wonder that. Okay, so we get the Seven of Pentacles in the hopes and fears, which is if first one plan doesn't succeed, another. You cannot simply write off people power. You can't. It's not that easy. Because people will find a way. There has to be, the Tower is the outcome. There has to be, and this comes a lot too, Trump, while doing the bidding of the oligarchy, is also showing everybody what is going on. Like the truth is out. There needs to be a complete and utter breaking down, a restructuring, a starting again. I keep saying this, it's not business as usual. And then we get the wealthy, those that have the money. Also, I'm just going to go and look at the banks for the moment. There we have it. The King of Pentacles, my card for Trump, the businessman, and then the people. What are the people left with? What should be abundantly clear now. That what Trump said he'd do, he didn't do. And of course, we do have MAGA fracturing. We absolutely do have MAGA fracturing. So again, this unity, this more people finding commonality. So, outreach should be done, not just political outreach, should be done as a priority with those that have been burnt by all of this, who aren't getting what they thought they were getting from Trump. That is a priority. Okay, so we get things, again, all of these sticks could be lit. It seems to end this old cycle and a movement forward. And then we get the beautiful wands coming through here. Rather than struggling, we just light all those wands and we move into this kind of energy where we're moving forward with plans, with motivation. So that gives me some cause for comfort, that leaders in the future will be chosen very wisely because of the truth that will be exposed during Trump's term. All right, let's go. Pardon me. Okay. All right, let's go to Trump and Russia and Ukraine. Trump, Russia and Ukraine. Okay. Trump, Russia and Ukraine. All right, does Trump really want peace in Russia? Apparently, he had a stand-up shouting match with Zelensky. The F word was used. He wanted Zelensky to give up all of Donbass, too much territory. Zelensky said no, and of course I think this was what Trump was giving to Putin, and that's why the meeting with Putin was cancelled. Because Trump's acting for Putin. I think the Dutch are correct. Okay, so, all right, let's just ask, is Trump acting for Putin? It seems we've already got the answer to that. All right, let's just ask, is Trump acting for Putin? Is Trump the kind of agent, the middleman? There's a truth, you better believe it. Is Trump acting for Putin? I will keep talking about the oligarchy. I think it's one of the most important things at this time for all of us to realise. Okay, so we get the Fool card. Yes, a crossroads here. There we go, pushing the boundaries all the time. Again, the apprentice card. In many ways, he's probably looked at what Putin has done as taking leaves out of his playbook. The Queen of Wands in the past, motivation, but that's in the past, and then we get retreat, wounded. Again, the peace process is derailed. Is he acting for Putin? We're obviously not getting the full transparency here. We don't get records of his meetings. We are being kept in the dark. Secrets, the High Priestess in the present. So he's holding secrets. The King of Cups, we get a water sign, we get wisdom, maturity, or the lack of it. And then in the hopes and fears, we get money. And then we get, So yes, he is acting for Putin. That is, he's helping him craft or build something. But it's not going so well. It's not going so well. And this is why you see the stops and starts. And we get the Hermit card, because majority of Americans want to see Ukraine come out on top here. And we get the Star card. So is he acting for Putin? Yeah, there's definitely plans, the High Priestess and the King of Cups there, which is emotion. The thing is, they can't turn, as I said, the majority want Ukraine to come out on top. So there's a lot of roadblocks between Putin, Trump just doing Putin's business. Now, I have seen the possibility of war in Europe. Does Trump want peace? Because that would feed his military-industrial complex. Again, the oligarchies that put him there, the oligarchs. Okay. All right, so let's have a look. See, the Supreme Court, is it captured by the oligarchs? Let's ask the question. Because Trump overcame a lot of roadblocks to get there, legal roadblocks, with the help of the Supreme Court, which pulled the rug out from under Jack Smith's case at the last minute. Is the Supreme Court captured doing the business of the oligarchy? Is the Supreme Court doing the bidding of the oligarchy? Is the Supreme Court of the US doing the bidding of the oligarchy? So much reform is needed beyond just left versus right. Knight of Wands and the Truth. Yeah, probably don't need to go any further. I do want to say the women on the court are not included here. We get retreat, wounded in battle, and then we get something coming to fruition in time, and then we get the Page of Wands, a decision. So are they doing it? They're withholding, I think all the time, withholding things. There's a manipulative process going on here. And then we get the End. Again, so many... How did it get this way? So many presidents of all persuasions failed to do real reform. The World card, the Ending, the King of Cups. Again, maturity, wisdom. The Star card in the Hopes and Fears. Again, there we get the Hierophant. The Supreme Court itself is the outcome card. It's a yes. Are they doing the bidding of the oligarchy? You better believe it. You better believe it. The thing about the oligarchy is that there's competing here, even though that we think they act as one, there are competing interests. And also that's why you'll see Murdoch breaking from Trump at various stages. All right. Does he want peace? Does he want peace between Russia and Ukraine? Does Trump want peace between Russia and Ukraine? Does Trump want peace between Russia and Ukraine? Strength card. A show of strength in the past. Okay. So he wants, there's Russia there at the foundation of the reading, given that he acts for Russia. But Russia has stuff on Trump, absolutely. So we get here a surprise move, pausing. Okay, so there could be a breakthrough here. Does he want peace? Not answering my question. The Eight of Swords is restriction, and then we get money. Yeah, the sanctions. It's Russia's part of BRICS, so there's restrictions on Russia. Again, who's calling the shots? It's not Trump. Remember Trump? Well, yes, Trump to a certain degree, but it's the oligarchy that he represents, the moneyed interests in America. What do they want from Russia? Do they want to trade with Russia? Do they want an entree into BRICS so they can invest in those countries where there's opportunities? What's going on here? Anyway, let's just see, do they want peace? They want fighting, basically. They want fighting. Absolutely. This is very clear. And there we go. There he is. Again, I think it comes down to the war machine and the war profits for the oligarchy. I don't believe Trump does want peace between Russia and Ukraine. That's probably why he's flip-flopping between Ukraine and Russia. He doesn't want peace. War would be profitable there. Okay. And remember the equipment, the trade, blackmailing, all of that feeds into profits for the military-industrial complex. Okay, so he's motivated by profits, not just for himself, but for the people or the oligarchs, the groups that put him there. Okay, so 3-Eye Atlas, and then we'll finish up. So what I saw, I'll just change the deck to the Crow Tarot. They're a bit thicker. Cards are a bit thicker than in the Crow Tarot, which is why I had to. They didn't go through that easily. All right, so the Crow Tarot, 3-Eye Atlas, I saw that they were collecting data. So what do they want to do with this information? This information that they are gathering. 3-Eye Atlas apparently changed shape the other day. I can't keep up with the amount of news on 3-Eye Atlas. People are glued to their screens on this. Okay, so given that I saw this was alien technology, call it a probe, call it what you like, what are they collecting this information for? We've got the King of Pentacles. Well, that's resources, an abundance of resources. Doesn't have to be money, can be just resources. And then we get bravery, and the King of Two Kings now. Bravery, stepping forward. The resources of the solar system. And then we get the Five of Wands. Five of Wands is, pulling, competition. Are they ill-intended? I hope not. Four of Wands in the past. Reunions. And the Hanged Man pausing something, looking at something a different way. I think they're collecting information or an awareness, wanting an awareness on Earth resources in some way. And it's people as well. And we get the Tower card. The Tower card. It's restructuring, downfall. It could be data on the health or otherwise of our Earth, our solar system. And we get the Three of Pentacles. That's building something or rebuilding something, and something coming to fruition in time. How close are we to destroying our Earth? The Three of Wands, in the hopes and fears. This is, doing the work and then waiting for one ship to come in. And finally, we get the Five of Pentacles, which is a latter. Yeah, it seems to be studying the Earth, its resources, its people, but also what we're doing to our Earth or our solar system. And then we get the Four of Pentacles. The Five and the Four of Pentacles, and then the restriction here. Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, it's complete study. It's a study of the Earth, the solar system, the people, the resources. They're collecting that information. The resources, but also the damage that we're doing, the destruction that's going on, the health or otherwise of our climate. We get strength. We get the sun. Yeah, the health of the solar system as well. Seems like an advanced type of probe. Now, they're collecting that information for all those reasons, but what are they going to do with it? That didn't answer that. Are they going to come here? Is the information so that they can come here? Is the information so they can visit Earth, so they can intervene? Why are they collecting this type of information? Do they intend coming to Earth? Does this alien, whoever's behind this probe, do they intend coming to Earth or intervening? That's one of the big questions, isn't it? So we get the Four of Wands. It seems like they're already here. And the Three of Wands again. It seems like they're already here. The Eight of Cups, walking away from loss. We get the past in the background, in the past. And we get a crossroads. Do they intend to come here, I asked. And we get the Five of Wands. I don't think they like what they're seeing. Something coming to fruition in time. And then we get the Seven of Cups. Choices. They haven't made their mind up yet. And then we get the Five of Cups. Yeah, if this is some kind of highly advanced, I don't think they like what they're seeing. And we get the Tower again. They don't like what we're doing. Okay, well, I mean, the second part of the question, would they intervene? The Knight of Swords and the Three of Pentacles, rebuilding. I don't subscribe to alien races stopping us setting off a nuclear war thing or stopping us from pressing the button. I'm not one of those. But it seems like they don't like what they're seeing. But there's also a rebuilding. Would they help? Would they help if we do need help? Would any alien race give assistance or intervene? Or I don't see clearly that this is what they would do. So that's resources and a fight over resources, moving out of troubled waters, moving on, and the Ten of Swords, complete and utter downfall. Seems like if we do ever destroy, get to that point, we may get stabilization. There may be assistance to stabilize or rebuild in some way. But I'm going out right into the future, now. This isn't anytime soon. Pausing something. Here we go. Defending. And then we get the Empress card. A season of time. Something coming to fruition in time. And then we get stabilizing. So I think that if we did go over the precipice, I think that there would be some sort of assistance there to stabilize. Yeah, but we've got retreat right now. I certainly get the feeling they didn't like what they saw. And, you know, let's face it, most of us don't. Most of us have this feeling that things are not quite right with our world. And it's becoming louder and louder and louder. Okay, that's the reading for today. Thanks for tuning in, and bye for now.